Welcome, intrepid explorers of knowledge, to Chronicles on the Focus, the podcast that dives deep into fascinating histories and captivating lives. I'm your host, Bob, and with me as always is the ever-brilliant Alice.
Hello everyone. And Bob, are you ready to shiver our timbers and talk about some seriously icy adventures?
Shiver me timbers indeed, Alice. Today, we're plunging into the frigid tales of Captain Robert Falcon Scott, the British Antarctic explorer whose name is synonymous with both triumph and tragedy. A man who reached the South Pole, only to meet a tragic end.
Exactly. He's a classic example of a determined explorer. But, Bob, let's not forget the less than glamorous parts of his story. While we remember Scott's bravery, there's always been a debate surrounding his leadership abilities. Some historians have questioned his strategic decisions, particularly during that ill-fated return journey from the South Pole.
Absolutely. His rivalry with Amundsen is legendary, but it's often overlooked that Amundsen used dog sleds while Scott chose man-hauling, a seemingly less efficient method given the conditions. You know, I recently learned something truly bizarre. Scott's expedition actually discovered the first Antarctic fossils. Imagine, amidst all that ice and snow, they unearthed ancient Glossopteris trees, providing evidence that Antarctica was once a lush, forested land connected to other continents. Who knew penguins had such a leafy past?
Right? It's a mind-blowing discovery overshadowed by the tragic outcome. But speaking of overshadowed, Bob, Scott's early life wasn't all heroic expeditions. He had a bit of a mysterious gap in his naval records, about 8 months missing. Historians have speculated everything from a scandalous affair to a simple bureaucratic oversight. Talk about a plot twist in his biography.
A scandalous affair in the Royal Navy? Oh, I'm intrigued. It adds a layer of human complexity to the image of the stoic explorer. And let's not forget the financial struggles he faced. His family's brewery went bankrupt, leaving him shouldering the responsibility for his family's well-being. This financial pressure certainly adds context to his desire for recognition and advancement through his polar expeditions.
Exactly. It wasn't just about glory, it was about survival and providing for his loved ones. The tragedy of his death is magnified by the fact that he left behind a wife, Kathleen, who, I think, deserves more recognition for her unwavering support during this very difficult time. It shows that even the most famous explorers were ordinary people facing extraordinary circumstances.
Indeed, Robert Falcon Scott's story is a compelling mix of ambition, bravery, and ultimately, devastating loss. A reminder that even with meticulous planning and incredible courage, sometimes the forces of nature are simply too powerful to overcome. But his legacy extends beyond the tragedy. His discoveries, his perseverance, and the questions his story continues to raise make him a truly fascinating figure in history.
And that, listeners, is why we explore these chronicles. Join us next time on Chronicles on the Focus for another captivating story. Until then, stay curious.